All right, so connecting geometry and algebra can help you solve problems. Suppose the manager of a shopping center wants to upgrade their security system. So we got security cameras that we want to upgrade. All right, we're looking at two different providers, so two different companies here that provided a bid for the job, which means a company, a security company, will sit there and throw in a bid to you, and you get to decide which one has the best option. Okay, super locks. Okay, we can sit here and say that that's SL if we want to be short. So super locks, they will charge $3,975 to install the equipment and a $6 per day fee to monitor the system and respond to alerts. Okay. While failsafe, FS, they will charge $995 to install the equipment, so a lot less, but they now charge $1,795 per day to monitor the system and respond to alerts. Both companies are reliable and capable, so we don't have to worry about that. So the choice is down to the cost, which is always nice for us. The cost of the security services for super locks and failsafe, so SL and FS, depends on the number of days the company provides the service. The graph below, which is here, shows the bids for both companies. All right, so we're basically going to try and see which one is the best option for us. Okay, that's what we want to know. Is failsafe going to be better for us, or is superlocks going to be better for us? Okay, so we're going to use the graph and we're going to estimate. All right, which means we don't have to have an exact answer. It's just an estimate. It's just a guess. All right, so we're going to estimate the answers to these questions here, and then we're going to explain our reasoning in each case. All right, so number one, for what number of days will the cost for the two companies be the same? So the exact same. And what is the cost? 250 days, right? This is also called, do you guys remember what that term was? Point of intersection, right? This is also the point of intersection, or when they are equal. So we can sit here and look that if we put a dot and then put a line, it looks like it's about 250 days. Okay, and what do you guys think and can estimate the cost to be? So if we're here, that means we're right about here. So what do you guys just estimate the cost to be? Okay, about 5,000? Or you want a little bit more than 5,000? It's up to you guys. What about 53, maybe? Because it's a little bit above 5. So if we look here, this is 4, this is 6. So that means that line right there is 5. And so we're just a tad above 5. So what do you think? 5,500? All right, so we're going to say roughly the cost, so the squiggle, which means roughly $5,500. All right. So if we want to write this in a coordinate point, remember our x value is down here and our y is here. We're going to write it as 250, 5,500 or 5,500. Okay, so that's what we said. Okay, when the companies were the same, and how much did they both cost? All right, so we need to write an inequality. Okay, we need to write an inequality. For what number of days will super locks cost less than failsafe? So I want to write an inequality where x is going to be smaller than so many days. So if I look right here, okay, I know that super locks, how much was my installation fee at super locks? $3,975, right? So if I put a dot right here and I put a dot right here, so if I look, is it the darker gray or the lighter gray? Which line goes with super locks based on my y-intercept, based on my $3,975 fee to install? The dark gray, right? The dark gray. So this is my super locks, and this one is my fail safe. All right, so that way we know. All right, so if this is my point of intersection, is it going to be less than 250 days? Or is it going to be more than 250 days for super locks, for the dark gray, to cost less than fail-safe. So if dark gray is here, it's above fail-safe, but dark gray is here and it's below fail-safe. After how many days will it start being less than fail-safe? 250, right? $250, right? Yes. Actually, I need to go this way with X because we said X needs to be bigger. All right. Let's look at this. For what number of days, so we have our X again, okay, of days will superlocks cost less than 6,000? Okay. Superlocks cost less than 6,000. So I'm going to zoom in real quickly so that way you all guys can see. So we have superlocks here as my dark gray, and this line right here is 6,000. Okay, you guys see that? So if it looks like right about here, okay, that's when superlocks crosses my 6,000. And if I were to go straight down, okay, kind of, it got curvy. About how many days would you guys say that it would cost less than 6,000? Sure, 325. Honestly, you guys can just throw out a number. All right. So for 325 days, okay, because we see that that right there just roughly equals the 6,000. Okay, we need to say that it's going to be less than. Okay, so my alligator is going to eat the 325 because X has to be smaller. Okay. All right. And this is another estimate. So what do you think the cost for 1 year of service will be for fail-safe? So how many days are in a year? 365 days in 1 year. So we have 365 days equals 1 year. All right. So if 365 days equals 1 year, and we're looking at fail-safe, so which means we're looking at the light gray. Okay. So I'll change colors here. We'll get into a pink. If we know that this right here is 400, okay, I'm just going to kind of just guess about here and just go straight up here. So how much do you think roughly it's going to cost fail-safe for 1 year? I mean, you can overshoot it if you want. We don't know exactly. So what do you think? So if we're right here, okay, we're following the pink. 7,000 what? 800? Sure. Honestly, you can't say a wrong answer because this is estimating. I know that it's kind of hard when you think about math to estimate because you're not sure. Okay, so we're going to say that it's roughly $7,800. All right. Okay, now we're actually going to answer these questions. All right. So for A, we estimated them. Now we're actually going to find the answers to them. Okay. All right. For each company, okay, for every company, we are going to write an equation for the total cost for C in D days. So D is going to be our X value and C is going to be our Y value. Okay. Do you guys remember what the equation was for just a line for the slope intercept form? What was my base equation? Y equals mx plus b. Good job, guys. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we're going to substitute y in for c because you guys need to pay attention to this for your big test. All right, so when you guys take the star, sometimes they'll change the letters up on you. All right, so I'm going to sit here and say SL, and we know that that's superlocks, and FS, and that's going to be for fail-safe. We're going to write an equation for both of them that's going to equal C amount of dollars. Okay? All right. So I'm going to flip this back over. You guys don't have to, so you guys can pay attention and watch. So Superlocks will charge $3,975 to install. That's just a one-time fee. Then they also add a $6 fee per day to monitor it. So what do you think my equation for Superlocks can be? Okay, what's my y-intercept for Superlocks? What's B? Exactly. B is 3,975. It's my y-intercept. It's my plus. It's just my normal fee. And what's my slope for Superlocks? $6, right? I get charged $6 per day. All right. So I'm going to represent X as D. And you guys just told me for Superlocks, it is 6D because you said it's $6 per day plus my $3,975 installation fee. Okay, and this is the equation that I will use to find out exactly how much is it going to cost me each day to have Superlocks. All right. Okay, let's look at failsafe. What's my y-intercept for failsafe? 995. And what's my slope? What's my M? 1795. Okay, 1795. So for failsafe, we're going to have 1795D plus $995 in my installation fee. All right. All right. For questions 1 and 4 from part A, we're going to write an equation. That way we can solve the answers of the question. Okay, and then we're going to solve the equation to find the exact answer because we gave an estimate. Now I want to know the exact answer. So from question 1, what number of days will the cost of the two companies be the same? And then what is the cost? So we've got to find it. What happens? So what do I need to do to both my equations that I just created to find out when they are going to be exactly equal number of days? What do I need to do to both my equations? Set them equal to each other, okay? Because remember, the same means we got to set them equal. So I'm going to take my Superlocks of 6D plus 3975, so Superlocks, and set it equal to my failsafe, 1795D plus 995. Okay. And now I solve. I'm going to use my two-step equations. Okay, I'm going to use my two-step equation rules, which I'm going to write those over here. Remember, if I'm multiplying, you're now going to divide. If you're adding, you're going to subtract. Okay. But when you see two variables, you're going to move the smaller variable first. Okay. So I see that 6 is smaller than 17, and it's positive, so I'm going to subtract 6D. Subtract 6D. Now I'm left with 3,975 on the left. And 17 minus 6 is going to get me 11.95D plus 995. Okay. All right, I need to get D by itself. The first thing I need to do, I'm going to subtract 995. Positive and negative 995, they cancel out to 0. I am left with 1195 D on the right. 3,975 minus 995. Since we cannot do these in our head, or if you cannot, what can you use? Desmos. Okay, do not forget to use Desmos graphing calculator. We'll solve this through Desmos here in just a second. So now I have 2,980. Okay, I'll ran out of room, so I'm going to rewrite my equation over here. I tend to do that. And then now I see multiplication, so the opposite of it is division, and I'm trying to get D by itself. 11.95 divided by 11.95, they do cancel out, but it really goes to 1. So I just have 1 D left. And when I do 2980 divided by 1195, I get 250 days. 250 days, exactly. So does this look like our estimate that we made? So it looks like we estimated pretty good, right? So we estimated at 250, and it is exactly 250 days for them to both be the exact same, okay, at 250 days. So the easy way, we're going to plug this into Desmos. I'm going to show you with Desmos. But if you didn't have Desmos, what's another way to find out how much it's going to actually cost? What do we need to do with this D and one of my equations to find out how much it's going to cost me after 250 days? Plug it in, right? So you guys can do 2 ways. We can do 6 times 250 plus 3,975, or, okay, because I want you guys to get used to using this, or let me open up Desmos graphing calculator really fast. Okay, bring it over here. Okay, or we're going to sit there and we're going to plug in these 2 equations here. All right, so I'm going to put this off to the side here. So I'm going to have 6, and I'm going to change it D to X, so 6X plus 3,975. Okay, enter 17.95X plus 995. All right. There we go. And remember, your Desmos, it only goes out to 10, so we need to sit here and either use the zoom out, or if you have a mouse like I do, you guys can sit there and scroll. So if you scroll outward, there we go. We've got our 2 lines. And you can either click on this or this one, but you guys see our gray dot there. Okay, you guys see the gray dot. And it looks like, did I do that rightly? 60, 1795, X 995, 3975. Yep. All right, so it looks like we ended up having to round. So it looks like I rounded up for you guys. So we have 250 days. And how much is it going to cost us after 250 days? So what's my Y value? So if X is 250, what is Y? Good job, 5,471. Okay, let's just round down for that one. So if I'm at 250 days, okay, that's my X, it's going to cost me $5,471. Okay, $5,471. What did we say it was? We said 5,500, right? We were close. Hey, it's always good to overshoot than undershoot in my eyes. All right, so what will the cost, okay, what will the cost of 1 year of service for fail-safe be? Okay, so we have our equation, so fail-safe. That equation you guys told me was 1795D plus 995. Okay, and how many days were in a year again? What did we guys find? 365, right? So if 1 year equals 365 days, what do I need to do with that 365 to find out exactly how much is going to be fail-safe for 1 year? Plug it in, right? So I'm going to take 365 and I'm going to plug it in for D. So I'm going to have 1795 times 365 plus 995. All right. I'm going to give you guys a second. Why don't you guys go ahead and figure out what that is? Give you guys just a second here. Figure out and tell me how much is it going to be after 1 day of having fail-safe. Okay, just after having 1 day of fail-safe. Okay, use Desmos. If you have a calculator, you guys can use your own calculator, but I want you guys to get used to Desmos, all right? Desmos will be your best friend later on in college or in high school too. All right, you should have received or should have hopefully gotten $7,546.75. Okay, 7,546.75. All right, so let's stop and look. So we've already answered this question. We kind of estimated it to be around what, 7,800? And what do we get? 75.46. We weren't that far off. You know, we were super close. I mean, when you guess, you are not going to always be exactly correct. All right. I mean, guess is just a guess. All right. And the last one for our two companies here. So letter D for questions 2 and 3 from part A. Okay. And it's given it to us. We're going to write an inequality, which means we're going to write our less than and our greater than. Okay, we're going to write our less than or greater than to represent each situation. All right, we're going to do plenty of writing these equations later. All right, so for question number 2, for the number of days, so what days, okay, will superlocks cost less than failsafe? Okay, so if I'm going to write an inequality, which way does my alligator need to go? Which way does my inequality need to face? Who does he need to eat, if you would say, to show that one of them is more than the other? So I want superlocks to be less than failsafe. So which way does my inequality need to go? To which one? Because remember, he's going to eat the bigger number. So one of them has to cost more while the other one's going to cost less. So who does he need to eat? Failsafe, right? Because remember, we want superlocks to be small because we want superlocks to cost less than failsafe. So he doesn't want to eat the smaller company. He's going to want to eat the bigger company. So I want my inequality to face this way. Okay, that's telling me less than. That's telling me that superlocks will be less than failsafe. Okay. All right. And when they ask you to write the equation, the inequality, you're going to use your equations up here. All right, so superlocks needs to be less than failsafe. And my equation for that was 6D plus 3,975. Bring down my inequality of 1795D plus 995. Okay. And that's all we got to do. It just asks us to write the inequality. We did not have to solve it. All right. All right. So we need to write one more equality. So I want to write the equality for the number of days superlocks, okay, SL, will cost less than 6,000. Okay. It's going to cost less than 6,000. So which way does my alligator need to go? Does he need to eat superlocks or does he need to eat 6,000? The superlocks needs to be less than, so smaller than 6,000. So which way does he need to open up? Who does he need to go to? 6,000, right? Because 6,000, we want that to be bigger than superlocks. Okay. So SL is going to be less than 6,000. And we're just going to rewrite my equation for superlocks of 6D plus 3,975 is less than 6,000. All right. All right. How do you guys feel? Getting there? Are we getting there somewhere? Feeling somewhat okay? All right. Let's look at two more problems, okay? And all we're going to really do is just write the equations for these, okay? We're going to write the equations. We're going to practice looking at a word problem, picking out the information we need, and we're going to write an equation in inequalities form. All right, so we're going to get a little bit more practice. All right, so Sam needs to rent a car for 1 week trip to Oregon, okay? He's considering two companies. A Plus Auto Rental, they charge $175 for their fee plus a 10 cents per mile, okay? Zippy Auto Rental, they charge $220 plus a 5 cents per mile charge. All right. So first one, we're going to write an inequation that's relating to the rental cost for C. That's our Y. Okay, remember, we're going to rewrite our equation. Y equals mx plus b. So cost for CY at A plus auto rental to miles driven M, where M was our X. Okay. So go back up here. Okay. For A plus auto rental, what is my, I'm going to say this, what's my slope? Let's change it up. What is my slope for A plus auto rental? What am I being charged per mile? 10 cents per mile, right? So that is going to be my slope. So 0.10. Actually, let's change the Y to a C because we need to get used to using that. So C equals 0.10, and my X was my M, plus what is my initial fee? What's my initial charge for A plus? 175. Okay. All right, take 2 seconds and find me my equation for Zippy Auto. Okay, find me my equation for Zippy Auto. Take 2 seconds. All right, so what did you guys find? C is equal to what? 5 cents, so 0.05 M. And what was my y-intercept? 220, right? Good job. All right, now we're going to write an inequality. So we're going to be less than or greater than to show the cost of Zippy Auto rental to be cheaper than A plus rental. So I want to know when ZA is going to be smaller than AA. Okay, so who does the alligator need to eat? Which way does it need to open up to show that Zippy is smaller, so it's cheaper than A plus auto? It needs to open up towards what? A plus auto, right? So it needs to go like this. All right. So ZA needs to open up towards AA. Okay, and so then we're just going to use our equations now. So this was the equation for Zippy. So I have 0.05 M plus 220 is less than 0.10 M plus 175. Okay. All right, and the last question. Suppose Sam rents a car from A plus auto and he drives it 225 miles. how much will his rental cost be? So if this was my equation, so I'll rewrite it down here for A plus auto, so C is equal to 0.10 M plus 175. How would we find out how much his rental cost is going to be if he drives 225 miles? What do I need to do with that 225? Plug it in for M, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it in for M. All right. Take 2 seconds. I want to know how much his rental cost is going to be. Did you guys get this? $197.50. Is that close to what you guys got? Yeah? All right, one more. And then we're done. All right, so Maggie, she lives 1,250 meters from school. Okay. Her friend Ming, she lives 800 meters from school. Okay, both girls leave for school at the same time. Maggie can walk at an average speed of 70 meters per minute. Okay, while Ming can walk at an average speed of 40 meters per minute, sorry. Maggie's route takes her past Ming's house. All right. First question. We are to write an equation to show Maggie's distance, D, okay, that's my Y, from school at T times my X value after she leaves her house. Okay, I'm going to rewrite my base equation, Y equals mx plus b. Okay, and if Y is how far away I am from school, okay, that's going to be my D. Okay. What is my slope for Maggie? What's my slope for Maggie? Okay, let me ask this question. Let's back up here. How far away from school did Maggie start? Exactly. She started at 1,250 meters from school. Okay. My slope for my equation for Maggie is how fast she is walking per minute. So how fast is Maggie walking per minute? 70 meters. So she is walking 70 meters per minute, so 70 t. Okay? And then the d, that equals how far away I am after each minute she is from school. Okay? Now here's the final question. Here's the final question. If I start at 1,250 meters, okay, and D is equal to how far I am away from school, does this need to be a positive slope or a negative slope? So if I'm starting at 1,250 and I want to get to 0, okay, if I'm at 1,250 meters here and I want to get all the way to ground level at 0 to school, do I need to be adding the 70t or do I need to be taking the 70t away? Taking it away, right? Because she walks 70 meters per minute. So that needs to be a negative. Okay? Because she wants to go from here to here. We don't need to add distance because if we add, we're going to go up here. We need to take away some distance to get down to school. All right? Let's try Ming's equation. So I want to write an equation for Ming's distance in D, which was our Y, for how far away or how long it takes her to get there in T minutes. Okay? So what is Ming's distance from school? What is her original starting point? How far away does she live? 800 meters. Okay, she lives 800 meters. And what is Ming's average speed? 40 meters per minute, right? So 40 t. So if Ming is right here at 800, do I need to add the 40 or do I need to take the 40 away to get to 0? Take it away. So that needs to be a negative. Okay, because if we stop and add after 1 minute, she starts at 800. If we go for 1 minute, we need to take that 40 meters away from 1 minute or from 800. Okay, so that way we can see how far her distance is now, how much more she has to go. Okay, all right, and the last one. I want you guys to try this one on your own for a second. Write an inequality that shows Maggie's distance. So this one's Maggie. This one's Ming. Okay. Maggie's distance is greater than Ming's. Okay. Maggie is more than Ming's. Take 2 seconds. All right. So my inequality, less than or greater than. Which way do I need to open up to show that Maggie is more than me? Do I need to open up to Maggie or open up to me? To Maggie, right? I need to go greater than. So Maggie needs to be greater than me. Okay. And then all we need to do now is just write our equation. So negative 70t plus 1,250 is greater than negative 40t plus 800. All right. All right, any questions? Okay, you guys know that you guys can email me or ask me any and all questions you have.